Hey new Tekken fans, as always, I hope you're doing well. Well, I certainly hope you're doing better than me because I don't know if it's coming across on the mic, but I've actually got a bit of a cold at the moment, so I'm not feeling great. But this is going to be a bit of a chat video, so no flashy intros or anything, but I'm hoping you'll find it interesting. I'd love to know your thoughts on the matter. So, as the title suggests, I want to talk about a change that I would like to see in Tekken 8. Now, I say I'd like to see, it's pure copium, I've no doubt they're not going to change it. But I just thought I'd raise it because I think it's an interesting point and it gets debated a lot on various sites. So anyway, so what am I talking about? Okay, well to begin with, I'm going to show you 3 separate combos from King. Okay, and I want you to have a look at the properties and what you get and see if you can get an idea of what it is I might be going on about. Okay, so we'll start off with combo number 1. Oh, I should mention they're all going to be from the same launcher, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So anyway, so combo 1. Okay, so combo number 2. And finally, combo number 3. Okay, so that's 3 different combos from King, and curious to know if you noticed what it is I'm looking at. So just to enlighten you, I'm looking at there's 3 different things to those combos. The first one was the easiest to execute and actually gave a good chunk of damage. So that's just it's very standard screw into ender. 65 damage, very nice. But notice because of the fact that we ended with the Shining Wizard, we don't get the wall combo. But then that said, we are by the wall, as you can see. The second one, and I probably won't be able to do this now, I'm talking. There we go, less damage as you saw, but we get the wall. So with the wall combo, it gives the difference was 65 was the first one, 69 giggity the second one, and more importantly, we have the wall. Now, in case you're unfamiliar, the reason why I stress the point, the wall is incredibly important in Tekken, because once your opponent's at the wall, you negate the most powerful tool you have in Tekken, which is movement, because suddenly you can't backdash away. You can try to sidewalk, but a lot of people know you're trying to sidewalk away from the wall, so they'll use homing, wall splatting moves like that to pin you back on it again. So wall pressure is critical in a match. Okay, so the 2 combos there, as you notice, so the first one gave good damage but it didn't give us a wall combo. The second one gives slightly less damage if you don't include the wall combo, because I believe it's 56, but you get the wall travel and you get the wall. Okay, so that's fairly straightforward. The final one, which I don't think I'll be able to do while I'm chatting because it took me quite a while to land it, and this is kind of the point. Dropped it there technically. Anyway, so but this is the point. So this one, as you can see, gives the most wall travel. You see, actually I had to back up to this part of the stage to even fit it. I won't try while talking, because it makes my point for me. So anyway, so this combo gives the most amount of wall travel, and it gives the most amount of damage. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it gave 74 compared to the 69 giggity. So it gives the most amount of wall travel and the most amount of damage. Okay, but, and crucially, and this is why I'm not going to try and do it while talking, it's the hardest to execute, and it's a really tricky combo, at least I find it. I mean, that took me literally years to be able to land the forward ones in combos. In case you want to know how I learnt it, I'll put a link in the description and in a card at the top corner explaining my quote-unquote secret method of how I unlocked that ability. And it's worth mentioning that after that particular combo, it's even harder because it's at tip range, so you have to nail it. So 3 combos. One gives reasonable damage and is easy. The other one is easy and gives good wall travel. The other one is hard and gives the best of both. Okay, so I think that's okay. So that's fairly obvious in terms of structure. Now, before you all at me, yes, I know there are alternative methods from that launcher, because you can, if you're quick, you can crouch cancel and pick up with forward 3. But even that, as you can see, it's not that easy. You can do it. It's just I can't while I'm recording for a YouTube video, apparently. Let's try one more. So you, trust me, you can do this. Oh my word. I'm going to, right, well, last turn. There we go. Okay, so you can pick up with that and go down a normal route, but as you saw me, so many times I dropped it then. So most people would opt for, because you're in a crouched position after that, and similar as well if you get a counter hit launch from here. The second hit to the combo, most people opt for a while rising move, which is why most people go for that, which gives you the screw, and it's super easy. You just let go and press 2-2. For the big boy one, you can either do while standing 4, or you can actually do while standing 2. They both work. Okay, so don't at me. Yes, I know there's alternatives, but I'm using this as an example. Okay, right. So that's my point made. Okay, in terms of the 3 combo routes and the different sort of skill sets you have to land each one. So you might be thinking, right, Beige, what the flippity flip are you going on about, and what's this got to do with Tekken 8? Well, kind subscribers, just give me one moment while I switcheroo these particular characters, and I shall demonstrate what I mean, and help if I knew the alphabet and I could go the right way. So we want to have Paul on this side, and we'll put King on this side. Okay, so I'm now controlling Paul. Now, hopefully this will make my point, but watch this. Now, first time, there was no edit, did that, easy peasy. That's bread and butter from Paul's best launcher. I say best because it doesn't give the most damage, but it's the one you use the most, which is down forward 2. So what did you notice in that combo? Well, I got good wall travel, because as you may have noticed, I actually had to back up from the centre. If you try from the centre, you don't have enough space, it's not optimal. So I got good wall travel, I got the wall, I got Paul's wall damage, which is, you know, much better than King's, but that's beside the point. And I've also, you know, got the wall pressure now, because, you know, he has to stand up, as in King has to stand up with his back against the wall. And as anyone will know, if your back's against the wall with Paul, then you get to face this choice. He can land you with that for 39, or if you're brave enough to duck, I'll see if I can get this first time. That, 71. So that 50-50 is disgusting, to quote Main Man. So, why am I saying all this? Okay. In the first example of King, I showed you 3 examples, and the only way I got both damage and wall travel was by doing a really, really hard combo. Paul, that's a bread and butter. I could teach someone now who's never played Paul. I could probably 10 minutes. You could learn that combo. Okay, it's really not difficult, and I say it's part of his bread and butter anyway. Now, the reason why I mention all this is because basically, Paul is, you know, the example I've used because he's one of my main characters. However, there are lots of others where their bread and butter combos will give massive, massive wall carry. The good examples are Brian has insane travel on his bread and butter. When I say bread and butter, by the way, I mean the combos you do day to day. Jin is another good example, but it's across the cast. So back in the day, there was only particular characters like Lee and like Nina who got really good wall travel, and Dragon, I think, was another one. But with that wall travel, you had to have really good execution, so you kind of got rewarded for it. Nowadays, since season 3 onwards, most characters get both. You know, and I've just showed you Paul's example. So easy bread and butter combo, massive wall carry, and now wall pressure. And just personally, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not going to lie. It just, to me, makes sort of it makes the game sort of very sort of what's the word I'm looking for? It's not very diverse, because basically, once one of you gets that, if you're playing on the stage with walls, I should say, which most of the stages are in this game have got walls. As soon as someone gets that launch, and let's be honest, there's so many different launches in this game that are stupidly safe. I mean, that's probably one of the highest contenders, but there's loads more. I mean, even hop kicks, they're quite unsafe, but they're only -13. You're not going to get launched for them, and they crush lows, you know. And ones like this have stupid range. And Claudia, no example. But anyway, the point is that the kind of incentive is to basically just try to get your launch. Then you're guaranteed to take your opponent to the wall with massive damage in the process. And once you get there, you then, you know, have all the advantages of the wall game. So what I'm suggesting, what I would like to see in Tekken, although, you know, it is pure copium at the moment, as you saw in those 3 different combos I had with King, there was one where I could opt for wall carry, but I got a lot less damage as a result. So, or I could opt for not getting the wall carry, but I got more damage. And personally, that's what I would like to see. It's kind of a more strategic choice. You either decide, right, am I going to take the easy damage here but give up position, or am I going to get my opponent to the wall and then make use of the fact that I now have sort of, you know, I've got added pressure. Or if I really want to practice and take the big risk of, you know, dropping online, I can learn a really technical combo that will give me both. That's what I'd like to see, because at the moment it feels like easy mode. You know, that's just my experience, and I'm going to talk to this in a little bit more detail on another video, because I've been playing a lot of ranked on PlayStation to kind of compare the difference, and compared to PC. And on ranked, the interesting thing is people know far more about how to do. They can nail a combo that'll give you 80 plus damage. You know, they'll do that every time. But I was playing someone who literally didn't know how to block an alley kick, and all I was doing was all I had to do was basically keep spamming alley kick, wait for him to get counter hit, and then launch him. I just did that over and over again. And on PC, just to kind of, you know, for balance, that'll get you as far as mid greens, if that. And this was on PlayStation. I was getting away with this in reds. And the point is that I'm not trying to shame here. My point is that the game itself sort of teaches you more about how it's important to be able to launch and score a good combo compared to basics of defense and frame knowledge. So I don't blame the players. It's kind of how this game's orientated. It's orientated around that idea of, you know, just try to get the big launch and then, you know, get all your damage and go from there. Anyway, and I just think it'd be more interesting if everyone didn't get the default. So. The reason why I think Namco have gone this route, and I say it kind of happened from season 3, and I'm sure it'll be in Tekken 8, is because they see it as more exciting, because they kind of want to see the big combos, they want to see the big comebacks, and as far as they're concerned, it's a more exciting viewing experience for the players, for the audience in esports. And I would just like to take this opportunity just to counteract that for one moment. Now, I'm just going to have to drop off for a second, and I'm going to take you to look at what, in my opinion, is one of the greatest sets of Tekken I've ever watched. Okay, guys, so we've come out of the game now, and we're on to YouTube to look at this match. Now, if you haven't seen it, and I'm guessing most of you have, to be honest, this is, in my opinion, one of the greatest sets of Tekken I think I've ever seen. And it actually, having watched this, it inspired me, and I know lots of others, because lots of people mentioned it on Margin's stream. It's basically inspired me to want to get back into Tekken and pick up Tekken 7, having sort of only dabbled in it casually, you know, back on the PlayStation era. So this is, if you're not aware, this is Margin versus JDCR. So I love the fact that this is one of the greatest sets of Tekken ever, but it's also between two of the most sort of wholesome and down-to-earth pros, in my opinion. They're both really, really cool guys, which just makes it extra special. Anyway, it's a best of 3. This is back in season 2. So this is, you know, prior to a lot of moves, including a lot of players, including King, getting additional moves that made his wall carry much better. And I won't, we're not going to review the whole thing because that'd be fun, but that's not what we're here to do. I'm going to take you to one crucial part of the match. So for context, and if you don't want to know who wins, sorry, I'm going to spoil it for you. So skip the video or whatever. But basically, Majin gets fairly annihilated in the first round, and it's obviously it's best of 3. So he skips ahead. He takes his earphones off so he can hear the crowd, which is basically a power-up move, and guy comes to life. So make sure I've got. Shame it's only in 720, but never mind. This might look a little bit pixelated. So I'm going to skip ahead to the bit that where this becomes, in my opinion, sort of super hype, and this kind of goes to my point about what I've been rambling about for Tekken 8. So I'm just going to skip ahead here, and we'll watch it, and then I'll explain to you why I think it's so awesome.
Probably a big
looking a little jittery.
Nice, and JDCR down.
Oh, yes.
Opting for the tracking moves there, people's elbow.
Okay. Running knee. Okay, he wants the wall. Nice job hitting the brakes. JDCR is so prepared. Good block.
Oh, he has a
going
chest.
against the wall.
Is he going
We're
down?
going downstairs.
He should be able to get the follow-up with the screw as well.
Oh, he went for the hard combo.
Oh my gosh.
He's gonna do it. He got the round.
And Majin finally on the scoreboard.
I can feel it in my loins.
Okay, so even now watching that, I get goose pimples at that moment, and that's probably because I'm a sad old man. But let me explain to you why that's such an awesome little sequence, and it kind of goes to my point about I don't think I'd be happy to make the changes for Tekken 8 that I'm suggesting, and I think you still have hype moments. Okay, so what the reason why I say this is because so you'll notice when from that move, he gets the balcony break. Okay, gets it via the see if I can do this if I can play this at the slower speed. There we go. So he gets the balcony break at this point via the throw. Okay, so if he can land the right combo here, he wins. If you see the damage. So because of the scaling, it's you don't get as much as you think, because once you've done those two parts of the hit to get the break, it scales down a lot. Okay, so here we are. Now this is season 2. King does not have back 2-1, which is what you would normally do at this point as to get your screw. Okay, so because he hasn't got that easy mode option to get the wall, what does he have to do? Okay, so standard stuff to get the pickup, and now watch, we have to dash jab, forward 1. Look at that, frame perfect input. Forward 2-1, and boom, there we go, got the wall. And then didn't need the wall pressure, had enough left over to win, just in terms of the there we go. In terms to get the win. You see, this chap is very, very excited by that. He's not even watching. So my point is, there was no easy mode wall carry there, and I shall demonstrate if he was playing a different character who does have easy mode. I'm going to show you with Paul what you do in that instance in the modern game. See, he had to do frame perfect inputs with a huge crowd of people, and he nailed it. And from there on, that was basically, as he got absolutely bodied in the first game. I can't remember if it was a no round brown. I think it may have been actually. Yeah, look at that, no round brown. So three matches down. That one sequence there was what got him his first round on the board, and I'm sure you know how it all follows. But basically, that turned the tide of momentum, and he had to do it using one of the most technical, bits of combo art for King. So, long story short, don't give me that bullshit saying that, you can't have hype moments. It's like, you can have hype moments, and I think it's even more hype because the pro had to do the hardest combo route to get that wall, and I'm going to show you in a second, an absolute scrub like me can just pick up Paul and would be able to, basically having easy mode to get from that balcony break to that wall. So okay, we'll go back in the game now and I'll show you what I mean. Right, so now you've seen that, you know, amazing video. Let me show you how different it would be if we were to do this with a character like Paul. Okay, so we're in the same position now. We've got the wall and we've got the balcony break. Right, now again, just for a comparison, just you know, famous last words, but watch this. I dropped it. Hang on. One moment, please. There we go. So, that was not difficult. Didn't take me, you know, what, 2 goes to land that. And, you know, that was, just for the record, I could have done, you know, that combo would have worked in season 2. The wall ender would have been different, but you know, that still would have worked. And so there you go. So that would have been easy to land in a clutch, you know, with, you know, even an amateur like me can land that. And I just think, you know, that just sort of takes away the excitement. So the fact is that, as I mentioned before, the fact that Majid could land that technical wall carry combo just to get the, you know, to get the wall and fight and end the round, I just think that makes it so much more exciting, because if you've ever played King, you know how difficult that combo is, and yet, you know, the dude was able to land it in the most hypest of moments, and it really sort of sprung momentum, in my opinion, and, you know, took the game. And as far as I'm concerned, that is the most exciting, and I say that is the most exciting piece of Tekken I think I've ever watched, and I know many others agree. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'd love to know what you think. I mean, am I completely wrong? Should I just accept the fact that no, we want to see, you know, we want to see the big damage, and we want to see, you know, people get to the wall, and we want to see all this, that, and the other? Or are you like me? Are you more sort of, you interested to see, I want to see more strategy and choice in terms of my combo routes? And, you know, I'm not saying, you know, it is possible to have both travel and damage, but you've got to earn it with good execution. You've got to be a Sergei master, combo meister, to be able to sort of pinpoint exactly where the right part of the wall is and all the rest of it. And yeah, if you haven't seen it, I'd definitely go and check out some of his Kazuya combos. It's basically art. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. As I say, let me know below, you know, whether you agree or disagree, and stay tuned and subscribe if you want to see this next piece I'm going to work on. But as I said, I do have a bit of a PC versus PlayStation where I've recorded the matches. I'm going over the replays, and I'll discuss not only kind of the gameplay I was working on to kind of give you an insight in terms of how I deal with certain players and matches, but also it's a really, trust me, it's a really interesting piece to see how the different play styles compare from one to the other. I'm not going to give too much away. You have to subscribe and tune in to watch it. But basically, there's at one point where I play 2 different King players. One of them on PlayStation is a high reds, and the other one is a mid orange, and their play style is just so crazily different. Anyway, I'll leave it on that. So thanks everyone, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.